Welcome to another episode of BTW with BTM, our shorter format series where we try and break down the latest digital marketing trends and really help you understand what it means for your brand and how you can make it actionable. I'm your host, Jason Dodge, founder of BlackTruck Media and Marketing. In today's episode, we're going to look at TikTok's brand new travel ads. We'll break down what they are, why they matter in the travel and tourism space, and who they might be best suited for. So, whether you're running a hotel, a resort, marketing an entire destination, this episode hopefully is going to help you understand if TikTok travel ads should be on your radar, a part of your marketing mix in the upcoming months. So for starters, let's talk about what TikTok travel ads are. It's their new ad solution powered by Smart Plus. If you're not familiar with Smart Plus or you're not as familiar with TikTok ads, that's okay. Just know it's TikTok's AI driven tool for campaign automation as well as campaign optimization. And there's three main formats that really come up in the travel ads. First is single video ads with travel specific cards. The second is catalog video ads generated directly from your catalog. And then there's catalog carousel ads that let the user swipe through multiple options and kind of interact with your brand a little bit more. The big difference here, aside from, say, normal TikTok ads that you could be used to or other platforms, is these are dynamic. So they're connected directly to your availability and pricing so that your content always feels current. And I would say that that's a little bit of a company line from TikTok, right? So keep that in mind. The other thing to keep in mind, if you don't know, is there's questions that come up around, well, what is a catalog? What's a catalog in TikTok ads? And when we say catalog, think of it as a structured product feed, basically a database of your inventory that TikTok can pull from. So for hotels and resorts, that might be room types, packages, rates, things of that nature. If you're an airline or an OTA, it could be flight routes or bundled deals. Even DMOs, destination marketing organizations, could use a catalog to showcase attractions or experiences, maybe not a direct booking though. So there's a little bit of a caveat there. The big advantage, right? What's the question mark here is catalog driven ads are going to update automatically. So if your pricing or availability changes, your ads are going to stay current without you having to rebuild everything. It's very similar to, say, Google's shopping feed or Meta's commerce manager. It's probably really designed specifically, though, for TikTok's video first environments, if you think of it that way, like a shopping campaign. And why are they so important is we know, especially if you do enough work in the travel and tourism space, that TikTok is already a travel inspiration engine, and it provides us with a ton of inspiration and a lot of ideas. 66% of users say that it's their most helpful source for travel ideas when they're putting a trip together and thinking about where they're going to go and what they want to do. They're somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.5 to nearly 3 times more likely to book after searching for travel related content. So travel ads take this journey much further by closing the gap between inspiration and booking. So instead of just kind of sparking this wanderlust idea, TikTok is now able to provide you with a tool from an advertiser's perspective to drive actual conversations, which is going to be interesting to see how this rolls out for many brands. Now, a word of caution here. I want to talk about what to watch out for with Smart Plus, because as exciting as this is, there's a few cautionary items to keep in mind here. Smart Plus is AI driven or a derivative of AI. So similar to what you're seeing with Meta and their moves in the AI space, same thing that you're seeing with a lot of the more smart campaign features and PMax features in the Google platform, right? You're giving up control. So creative control is something that you're going to start to get relaxed on. Smart Plus generates variations of your ads. They won't always be aligned with your brand's creative tone or standards. So you're going to want to monitor that pretty closely on what's being pushed out. You're starting to give up some brand security and brand safety. Within reason, there are some guidelines in there, but you do need to keep that in mind. Then it's really dependent on the data, similar to other stories of AI, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So the system's going to work best if your product catalog is clean and structured. If it's incomplete, it's not clean, it's not structured properly, your ads, they're probably going to underperform. Again, garbage in, garbage out. The best data put in is going to provide you with the best opportunity outcome. Budget transparency, like Meta Advantage Plus, Google's Performance Max, I talked about before, Smart Plus is something of a black box. So you get automation, but you give up a lot of control over how those dollars are spent and what you can and can't do in there. And lastly, there's attribution overlap. With TikTok stepping into this kind of booking phase, this middleman, you might see an overlap with things such as Google hotel ads or OTAs. So you need to be prepared to address duplicate reporting, if you will, depending on how your attribution is set up. So huge opportunity here, but with anything AI driven, I definitely want to kind of insert that in here, is that you want to trust but verify. So let's talk about who are they potentially best for? And I'm kind of breaking this down into the key segments and key areas for travel and tourism. First, hotels and resorts, the clearest winner, since you can drive direct bookings, direct hotels, right? It's heads and beds. You have an absolute, it's kind of like a shoe in for these types of ad formats. Then there's DMOs, so destination marketing organizations. It's great for storytelling and awareness and potentially retargeting users with partner offers. Because again, if you're a DMO that doesn't have a booking engine, you don't really have a catalog feed, so to speak, for those types of dynamic features, it's not going to be ideal for you. But there's some opportunities and some workarounds there. And airlines and OTAs, natural fit for dynamic catalog driven promotions. So the sweet spot is probably going to be any travel brand that can link inspiration directly to availability and booking. That's what it comes down to. I'm inspired and you have availability. I'm going to take action as a user. So actionable takeaways. First things first, audit your TikTok presence. You need to have a good understanding of who you are and what that looks like as a brand online on the platform. Second, get your catalog structured and ready. So get similar to other platforms. Can you have a data feed that's going in there for your availability? If the answer is no, it's probably not the tree that you want to bark up. Test travel ads along other things such as Google hotel ads if you're not doing those now, as well as what you're doing on the Meta platforms across Facebook and Instagram. You're going to want to test and see which platforms are working the best. And I would give it a good chunk of time. Don't run these things for just 2 weeks and throw your hands in the air and say it's not working. I mean, run these for good test windows, 30, 60 days to see what's really shaking out between the platforms. For DMOs, I'd encourage everyone lead with storytelling, then tie those partners in for conversions. But you need to make sure that you have proper tracking in place, because otherwise you're going to be going to those partners and you're going to be asking a bunch of questions afterwards, or they're going to be asking you a bunch of questions too about, hey, how did our investment work? And we didn't get anything out of it. Tying that attribution in is going to be key, and it's going to be hard. And certainly keep a close eye on what Smart Plus is doing. Don't just set it and forget it. The beauty and the curse, if you remember, if you go back to the early days of Meta, the early days of Facebook ads, the beauty and the curse was anybody could run ads. And the beauty and the curse of a lot of these AI-driven platforms, like Smart Plus and TikTok, like some of the features inside of Meta now with Advantage Plus and PMax or Performance Max in Google, is the platforms certainly want you. They're trying to incentivize you of saying, yeah, just identify your audience, give us a budget and we'll run with it. And the challenge is that you're giving up a lot of creative control to the platform, and you don't really know exactly who it's going to target and what it's going to say about you. So you really need to police it and keep a close eye on it. So a few quick takeaways. That's it, for what TikTok travel ads are. It's a clear signal of where these platforms are headed, blending inspiration with action. TikTok is definitely looking at kind of cutting that middleman out, if you will. But with any AI driven tool, again, the best marketers are going to be the ones who balance out opportunity with some degree of oversight. So again, trust but verify. For show notes and links and everything we covered, please head on over to blacktruckmedia.com/podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of BTW with BTM. And until next time, good luck.